Welcome to Keto Quick Bites with Karen. I'm your host, Karen Ogilvy, and tonight I'm joined with my new friend and co-host, Rachel Strant, for Keto Giving, how holiday meals are problematic and how to survive the holidays and all those carby temptations. Now, with the holidays coming, this is going to be 100% your call whether you're going to follow the plan or whether you're going to stray for one meal. No one can force you to eat anything that you want to. Everyone is different. But we want to give you some helpful tips and tricks to keep you from being absolutely miserable and prepare you for what's coming on the Friday after Thanksgiving. Now, the first thing that you really need to remember is not to beat yourself up. It's just food. It's just one day. Our friend Scott has an amazing blog piece called It's Only One Day. He has lots of wisdom that's worth looking up. So this is your life. No one's perfect. Now, speaking of not being perfect, if a little of pumpkin pie should happen to occur on Thursday, Rachel, what should we be doing to prepare our bodies for that pumpkin pie?
Sure. The first thing that I would recommend would be taking a probiotic with your meal, and perhaps even with the meal before and with the meal following your Thanksgiving dinner. Once you've eliminated grains and sugar from your diet, the bacteria in your gut that help you digest those things, they die off, and because you're not feeding them. And so when you reintroduce carbs and sugar back into your system, there's no bacteria there to help you digest them well. So if you want to avoid the embarrassing, I can't get off the toilet text to your sister, march yourself over to Whole Foods or Earth Fare or another hippie store and pick up a probiotic. You're going to want to get one that is in the refrigerated section. You can order it off Amazon, but unless it's cold where you are, you don't want to take the chance that they will die in the UPS truck.
All right, so you'll have a bottle of dead bug if it gets hot.
That's right. Saying. Wasting your money. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
The second tip that I would suggest would be to drink a lot of water. You will need to keep your fluids up. You will be seeing some fluid shifting back and forth as you introduce carbs into your system and you take them back out again. And so you need that water to stay on top of things and to help flush that stuff out of your system. And along with that, you'll want to keep up with your electrolytes, particularly salt. There will be a profound shift of fluids in and out of your muscles and out your body. So wherever fluid goes, electrolytes go with it. Staying on top of the salt will help avoid headaches and that hangover-like feeling that we all feel after indulging a little bit too much, as well as some of the muscle cramps that you get. It's going to feel a lot like those first couple weeks of going keto when you have the muscle cramps and the headaches and the dizziness. Staying on top of those electrolytes will help with that.
Okay. So to avoid that general malaise of that flu-like feeling.
Right.
Okay. Well, the day is coming on. You've had your sweet potato casserole with those tiny little marshmallows.
Yum.
Now, what physically can you expect? What is going to be happening to your body immediately after switching up your diet so profoundly?
Okay, the first thing you'll notice is some abdominal discomfort. You'll have some bloating, you might have some gas, you might be frequenting the toilet, or you might be desperately wishing that you were. So try a heating pad on your stomach and your abdomen if it feels just kind of bloated and gassy. That might help. The heating pad might help. Soothing, yeah. The second thing you'll notice Friday morning, or you might even notice Thursday night, I know I notice in my hands and my toes, my fingers and my toes, you will see a few pounds of weight gain, maybe 3 to 5 pounds at least of weight gain. And I want you to know that you don't need to panic. It's just water. Unless you've eaten 10,000 calories, you did not gain 3 pounds overnight. Just want to reassure you that it's just sugar and water that your body is storing for fuel for later. So stay on top of your salt so that as this fluid leaves you over the next couple of days, you won't have the headache and fatigues and muscle cramps. And keep drinking that water.
Okay.
And then the last thing that you'll notice is hunger and cravings. This can last anywhere from a day or up to 2 weeks, depending on your level of insulin resistance and how long you've been keto. The longer you've been keto, the easier it is to get back on track. But if for those newbies out there, it might be a little rough.
Yeah, and I find the physical cravings and the hunger, now that I've been eating keto for about 10 months, that physical part passes quickly. There is a little bit of psychological damage that you have to take, and that can take a little while to get out of too.
Yes, I do notice that the next day I tend to be hungry, really hungry. No matter what I eat, I'm just hungry. And all this time that I've been saying no to things as they come my way, it gets easier the more I say no. But then once I do say yes, it's harder to say no again. Those little indulgences that maybe were not worth it before, all of a sudden it's a harder decision to make each time. It takes me a couple days to feel that psychological. Yeah, I feel a little bit weaker in my self-discipline.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So after that, you ate off plan. You might be feeling a little miserable, but hopefully you've taken the precautions, like your probiotic, keeping on top of your electrolytes. And you might be feeling a little bit hungry and maybe craving a little bit. What can you do to get back into ketosis? What facilitates that process?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, all that sugar and water that's been introduced into your system and stored away for fuel for later, it needs to burn off. And there are a couple different ways you can do that. You can fast. You can skip breakfast or skip lunch the next day. If you've been keto for a while, this should come fairly natural to you. You can exercise. You can go for a walk, do some sprints. I think Ben says do 500 burpees. Just do some movement. Walk the dog, sprint through Best Buy as you're trying to get that new TV, fighting all the other people.
That's right.
Or you can just go back to eating on plan, eat your keto breakfast, and let your body let it run its course through this extra sugar that needs to burn off. That fluid will come off along with that weight gain pretty quickly as that glycogen is burned.
I think it's important to mention that if fasting and high intensity interval training isn't part of your repertoire right now is not the time to start. I would prefer to see you after the sweet potatoes and the marshmallows, just to start with your regular breakfast that you've always been having. If you've always been having a couple of eggs and a little bit of cream in your coffee in the morning, just start with that. Don't do any heroic stuff because it won't help you. It's just going to make things a little bit harder. So be gentle with yourself the next day.
Absolutely. Yeah, having that first good meal again, that you feel like you've had a small victory, sets you up for success later in the day.
Very true.
Yeah.
So what else can we do?
Yeah, the second thing is that salt. Again, here we are with the electrolytes. Keep them going. Stay on top of that sodium, that magnesium, that potassium. As those fluids rush out of your body, which they will, just like they rushed in, you'll need to stay on top of that to avoid the headache and that keto flu feeling.
Yeah, it's harder to stay on plan if you're feeling miserable.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And so another thing too is know that there will be cravings. They are coming. Yourself, it's going to help you get through that. So do what you need to do. Call some friends, get an accountability partner, come onto the Facebook group and ask for help. People are there and very supportive about those kinds of things, and they will help you push through those cravings. For some of the newbies at this, it might be a little hard, but just take the appropriate steps. You've been through it before as you entered into ketosis, and you're just going to be doing it again. So you might be a little more experienced in that. So do what worked for you the first time.
Yeah. Just a little mini reintroduction to following the keto diet. Again, you've done it before, and that was after months and weeks of eating high carb. So
Yeah, don't keep junk in your house. Don't let yourself get too hungry. Drink some water. All those things that you did in the beginning.
Lovely.
And yeah, and the last thing I want to say is don't stop peeing on those sticks. It doesn't matter what color they were before you ate the pie. It doesn't matter what color they are during your eating of the pie, and it doesn't matter what they are after the eating of the pie. Don't worry about the color of the sticks. Just go back to eating on plan with your keto diet, and you'll be in ketosis when your body is ready.
That's right. It won't take very long. As we said before, you're not undoing a whole month's worth of progress. It's a couple of days and wait it out, and you'll be back into the swing of things in no time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Rachel's given us some very helpful tips and tricks for preparing for a potential holiday indulgence. Now I'm going to be the heavy here and talk about not going off plan. For myself, when I had Thanksgiving in October in Canada, I brought my sides and dessert. Another option is that you could just sort of pick and choose. So try to find the best options. The turkey is always okay. Skip a lot of the things with breading or anything that could potentially have brown sugar added to it. Veggies with a little bit of butter sauce, an excellent choice. I chose to bring mine, and then I could choose from the things that were available to me that were suitable. And this way, I could enjoy my family time without any of the gas, gain, or guilt that we were talking about before. I had no carb hangover the next day. I had no 5-pound weight gain. And most importantly, I didn't have any cravings or I had to worry about falling off the wagon. So if you're like me, and you're likely to turn a cheat meal into a cheat until 2017, please consider doing ketofied alternatives and just bringing those holiday favorites with you. That way you can enjoy it without guilt. Now, speaking of ketofied foods, I'm going to talk about my buddy Scott here. Scott the Hobbit. He has some new books over at shecallsmehobbit.com. We have a dessert book. We have one that's completely without desserts. We have brand new recipes that haven't been published in book form yet. They're just on the website. And then we have the biggin book here, Ketify Everything But the Kitchen Sink. Scott and Tio put together a complete anthology. And those books are they're available on his website. You can get them in black and white, you can get them in full color, and you can get them in ebook form. Now, Scott and Tio, they do this for charities, animal and humanitarian causes. So you can buy these books and feel free to know that you're giving gifts and helping some amazing causes and baking pies all at the same time. All right, Rachel. Before we cut to our don't trust us, our degrees are written in glitter crayon and tacked to our fridge and construction paper. I'd just like to say thanks for joining me for this first little keto bite.
Oh, thank you.
And happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
No one in this video is a provider of healthcare, and our discussion is based on things we've read on the internet. It is not our intent to render medical or nutritional advice for your unique situation. Only you and your doctor can make decisions regarding your medical treatment, diagnosis, and especially the impact of prescription medications. Always check with your prescribing doctor on the compatibility of your medicine before undertaking any change in nutrition approach or undertaking a fasting protocol. Many medications are known to be incompatible with longer, overnight multi-day fasting without adjustment. Be safe and don't trust our word for it.